All right, today we're going to take a tour. But forget car plants or tech giants. We're going inside one of the most complex, most efficient factories in the entire universe, a single animal cell. Let's dive right in. So, you've probably seen a diagram like this 100 times, right? It's an animal cell, the tiny little thing that makes up, well, you. But just looking at it like this, as a flat picture, really doesn't do it justice. Inside that little circle is a whole world of nonstop, chaotic, beautiful activity. So let's try thinking about it a different way. What if, instead of a static blob, we imagine the cell as a perfectly engineered factory? With different departments, buzzing assembly lines, and its own power grid, all working around the clock 24/7 just to keep you going. That's really the secret to understanding how it all fits together. And hey, this isn't just some fun idea I'm throwing out there. It's a really powerful analogy. The machines inside have to work together to keep the whole operation running smoothly. So the big question is, who are the machines in our little cellular factory? Well, they're called organelles. Just think of them as the specialized equipment of the cell. Every single organelle has a very specific job to do, whether that's generating power, building products, or just taking out the trash. These tiny structures are what make the entire cell factory run. Okay, so our first stop on this tour has to be the power plant. I mean, it makes sense, right? No factory can do anything without energy. You can't run the machines or ship the products if the lights are out. And for that, you need to meet the mitochondrion. Its one and only purpose in life is to release the energy that the cell needs for, well, everything. Without this one little organelle, the whole system would just grind to a dead stop. That's exactly why they have that famous nickname, the powerhouses of the cell. They are constantly chugging away, turning fuel into energy that every other part of the factory can use. So you gotta remember, all the action in the cell, it starts right here. All right, power's on, the lights are buzzing. So let's head over to the main factory floor, the production line. This is where the cell actually makes its most important products, things called proteins. And it needs these proteins for pretty much everything, especially for growth. The actual workers on this assembly line, they're the ribosomes. These little round guys are the protein makers. You'll find them all over the cell, just working away, building all the things that keep the factory in business. Okay, so once these proteins are built, how do they actually get where they need to go? Well, they travel along something called the endoplasmic reticulum. Let's just call it the ER for short. It's this massive network of tubes that weaves through the entire cell. The best way to picture the ER is as the cell's own private highway system. It's like the conveyor belt in our factory, moving the freshly made proteins and other stuff from one spot to the next, super fast and super efficient. Now, the very last stop on our production line is the Golgi body. Think about it. After a product is made and then transported, it still has to be sorted, packaged up, and shipped out. And that is exactly what this organelle does. I mean, just look at it. You can see how it's made of all these folded sacks. It basically acts like the cell's own personal post office. It gets the materials, wraps them up, and then sends them out to other parts of the cell. Or sometimes, it even ships them outside the cell completely. So let's do a super quick recap of that whole production process. Step 1, creation. The ribosomes build the proteins. Step 2, transport. The ER highway moves them along. And step 3, packaging. The Golgi body gets them all ready for shipping. It's a perfect, seamless, 3-step assembly line. Of course, any great factory is more than just its production line. You need amazing support services to keep everything organized and running like a well-oiled machine. So let's check out how the cell handles its storage and maintenance. First up, we've got the warehouse, or as it's called in the cell, the vacuole. This is pretty much just a storage closet. Every factory needs a place to stash raw materials and extra supplies, right? For the cell, the vacuole is that place. So what's inside these little storage bins? Well, the vacuole holds stuff the cell might need later, like food or some extra water. But it also holds on to waste products, keeping them safely tucked away until they can be properly disposed of. And speaking of disposal, we need to talk about the lysosome. This organelle is basically the factory's recycling and sanitation department, and you absolutely cannot run the factory without it. Its whole job is just to break things down. Yep, this is the official cleanup crew. It's filled with these powerful chemicals that can digest nutrients. But maybe even more importantly, when other organelles get old and worn out, the lysosomes come in, break them down, and recycle their parts.
They keep the whole factory floor sparkling clean.
So, just to be crystal clear on this, they're both support roles, but they do totally different things. The vacuole is like storage bins. It holds materials for later. The lysosome is the cleanup crew. It actively breaks down and recycles old junk. You absolutely need both to run an efficient factory. And that pretty much brings our tour to a close. The most amazing thing isn't any one of these individual organelles. It's how all of them, every single one, works together. It's a perfectly coordinated system, like a tiny microscopic symphony.
So let's run through the whole team one last time. You've got the mitochondria as the power plant, the ribosomes working the assembly line, the ER is the highway system, the Golgi body is the post office, the vacuole acts as the warehouse, and a lysosome is the all-important cleanup crew. Every single one has a vital part to play.
And here's the part that's just truly mind-blowing. This entire factory, with all of its complex moving parts and processes, is operating inside a single cell. And there are trillions of them inside you working away right this second. It kind of makes you wonder, what other incredible worlds are hidden all around us, just hiding in plain sight?